So my poem is also in the handout, and I think I will read it out loud. Li Zhen. The cure for homesickness is to resist falling in love with the city. In my dream, you hold a green thermos filled with pu'er, descend the dark staircase of an old building. Your tall colored qipao casts a long shadow, a story. 6 o'clock and the narrow steps lit by the soon extinct kerosene lamps. I see you eating alone at the noodle store where I was. A tropical downpour fills the gutters. My thoughts shift from one cigarette to the next. The smoke curls up for lean. In hotel room 2046, this is what I'll write. Crumble up and rewrite. Quizás, quizás, quizás. Many years after our encounter in 1960s Hong Kong, I feel the need to empty my heart of secrets, whisper into the hollow of an old tree. This was written a while ago now, but I would like to kind of still, it's great to have the chance to revisit it. And I think I wrote it at the time when I'm sure that all of you feel quite familiar with Wong Kar-wai's movies, and I guess you must have watched In the Mood for Love as well. And I think I'm very obsessed with the way that all those cinematography and Wong Kar-wai's movies, how they, nourish the whole generation or generations actually, and how it just kind of the fact that he added a name to and used this person continuously throughout this movie and the next movie makes it very fascinating to me, because it's like quite a fictional person, but then captured through all these images that we find about time and memory and places. So I just had a lot of fun trying to remember or rewatch this movie over and over again to make this piece. And then I particularly enjoy putting in things that I really care most in the movie, like the green thermos, for example, which I thought, even back then, I thought is really old-fashioned. But then I can try to imagine what it contained, which we can't see in the movie, and such as the type of tea in it. And then I thought about also how that music combines with the film, and how like the Chalma one sat there. What's he really writing? So I think it's, to me, is an interesting exercise in writing prompt, because I don't know the whole story even after watching the movie. I think back then I was like just kind of gathering or trying to rethink the message of the story, and I think it's through this poem writing exercise that I sort of kind of interpret the poem for myself. So I really hope that you enjoyed that.
Wonderful. And
would you like me to say anything else?
Yeah, I think just to say to the audience, we also have another poem by Jenny, and of course for Nick, there's another poem that you can read in your spare time. The other poem that we've chosen is also, I think, based on kind of the trilogy of the films made by Wong Kar-wai. So before we say any more things, I think Jenny, have you finished talking about the poem more or less, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I think we can move on to Collier to see, do you have any response to that?
Is this on? It is, okay. There's no on-off button on this one. I watched Nick turn his on. Mine has no mechanism. I'm a little worried. I just want to say also, I'm so happy to be here. It's so nice to be in a room full of people who want to think about poems together, and next to Nick and to Anthony, and of course to Tim Tim and Jenny. I wish we could be proximate embody, but it's so nice to be in the same space as you thinking. Okay, so about this poem, I love this poem because this poem like is the movie for me. You know, I was like, should I even watch the movie in order to think about Jenny's poem? And I was like, I don't think that's necessary because she's plucked out. And you said these were maybe the scenes that were most important to you, or the details. And I think about watching Li Zhen like walk down the stairs, or the rain scene, the sound of the rain, the noodle stall, like all of the texture of the film is here. And what's really beautiful to me about that is that, well, for one thing, these are all from Tony Leung's character's point of view. I think it feels as though that's the first person here about her, right, thinking and observing. But also, I mean, it's a first person poem written by a poet from Hong Kong who lives away from Hong Kong, which I bring this to the poem. I know that that's who Jenny is, or that's a fact about Jenny. And so I also just think about, these lines, many years after our encounter in 1960s Hong Kong. I mean, this also for me is the voice of the poet talking about her encounter with the film, right? You cannot have an encounter with 1960s Hong Kong now. You can approach it. Some cha-cha-tangs are still kind of in the 1960s, right? There are places you can go, or you can watch this film and you can go back, which is kind of what the film is about, is that desire to return. And this is the thing that I love about this poem, because it feels very much like an allegory of desire for a city that's changing, for a city you could never have known, or the power and evocative scenes that you still can catch glimpses of. There are pockets of the city. So that is what I love about this poem. And also, these last lines, I feel the need to empty my heart of secrets, whisper into the hollow of an old tree, which in the movie this comes up, but that's not what Tony Leung's character whispers into, right? I mean, that's the image there on the left, right? He's whispering into a hole in the side of a temple in Wong Kar-wai. So that for me also, this is the poet, right? This is how I read this. I'm like, I still have the urge, the need to speak some kind of secret into the wood of a hollow tree, for my sake, like as the poet. And I feel very much as though Jenny has shared that with me, with the experience of the movie and this desire to be and to feel in Hong Kong and to remember Hong Kong.
That's beautifully put together.